I'm voting Trump so that he can deport Dot back to Mexico since he's an illegal.
I got banned for ripping an avatar and I ban evaded for my ex-boyfriend that himself 2 years ago.
Oh, that cute. Child. We call them child here. Yes, I want to go to children tonight. Please. This person is on the same wanted board as a self-proclaimed PDF file, a Nazi, and an aspiring murderer. Today, I will be telling you guys about one of the most banned and controversial players in VRChat, the Dot. To this date, this player has been banned over 300 times and they currently show zero signs of stopping. They have been exposed in the past with allegations of being a PDF file, which they claim are false, but the leaked Discord logs are so incriminating. Without context, it's very easy to assume the worst. For example, imagine being a fucking pedo. Yum, I'll get you into it too. I already am a dummy, but I am a pedo though, Bobby. Rape them with me. No, like, I actually am though, bobbers. You better be, Mr. Dot. I know you are, you told me a lot. LOL. CB counts, not erping. But I did it with 5 of them in about 2 months. Cute. SMH, it's bad though. I mean, anyone who reads that would just automatically assume that this person is guilty. As a warning, this story contains themes of mental illness and suicide, so please proceed with caution. Now, to start off, this isn't the first time I actually talked about this person. In my last video about a completely different controversy, I brought up the Dot in a very negative context, which was mostly based on word of mouth and a Twitter callout post. The problem with this post is that there was a lack of response from the main culprit of the post, being the Dot, which doesn't really do him any favors. This compounded with the fact that he has a history of being banned over 300 times really makes people assume the worst. Another thing about this post is that it doesn't actually give context to the entire situation in DMs. But before we dig into this, let's go back to the very beginning to when the Dot first got banned. All of the information I'm about to share comes from the Dot himself, but before that, I want to clarify, I do not condone any forms of pedophilia. It is also important to know that lolicon material is very different from real CP. Lolicon material operates in a legal gray area, with the main distinction being that in order to convict a person of having CP, it has to be indistinguishable from a real child in the material. Now, being a lolicon isn't the same as being a PDF file, because PDF files are used in the context of actual children. I personally think that lolicon content is gross, and I'll just leave it at that. Now, as for the original reason of why the Dot was banned, a lot of people don't actually know. Some people think that he's a PDF file that should be avoided at all costs, and as an outsider looking in, I would probably agree with you. I mean, as far as I know, he's never given a public statement, so you can kind of think of this video as an explanation to his side of the allegations. And just like with everything else on the internet, context matters. This story starts all the way back in 2018 in the lawlessness that was VRChat before easy anti-cheat was implemented. Back then, people could easily install clients to do nefarious things like crash VRChat lobbies and rip avatars. The Dot was curious about how some of this stuff worked and researched it online. He then ripped an avatar from someone named Jizitrev XX. After he ripped the avatar, he proceeded to tell a VRChat moderator about how the exploit worked. When he did this, he got banned by a moderator. In my opinion, this was completely fair to do. The Dot did end up breaking TOS to rip a model from the game, and he just snitched on himself. The safe thing to do would have been to talk to a mod about this exploit without actually doing it, or, you know, I kind of hate to say this, but just lie that you actually did it. Anyways, the ban was only a month, and that's fair. Now, it's also important to note that the Dot was fairly close with VRChat moderation at this time. Now, the Dot was dating someone on VRChat who went by Lewd Mute. Unfortunately, at the time, Lewd Mute was mentally ill and threatened to unalive themselves if they could not spend time with the dot. This situation put the dot in a hard spot, which pressured him to make a new VRChat account to evade the ban. It's kind of obvious that VRChat didn't really like that solution, so they just banned him again and again and again. Each time the ban got longer until the ban became permanent. Every single time, the person that they were dating was urging them to come back onto VRChat and evade the bans. The dot became eager to try to explain his situation to the devs, so he created another VRC account to try to talk to the moderation team. He claims at the same time he tried to join one of their lobbies that they were in, the entire lobby was crashed by a different player. The VRChat moderation thought that this attack was done by the dot and took it as an attack on the entire moderation team for banning all of his accounts. After this happened, the dot felt like there was no hope of returning in good standing to the VRChat community, so he decided to become the bad guy. To become the bad guy, he started doing nefarious things like downloading and abusing clients that can crash, rip, or do other nefarious things to people in VRChat. After 4 months of non-stop crashing, a community manager for VRChat reached out to him and told him to quit crashing people. In return, the dot told him about his situation, and their response was to simply send an appeal as to why he kept ban evading, and that's all that he could do. After he sent in the appeal, he was finally unbanned. Unfortunately, because of the little tirade he went on, he made so many enemies that everyone said that they would quit VRChat if he was unbanned, which is impossible because VRChatters are absolutely addicted to this game. They couldn't stop even if they tried. This led the mods to rebanning the dot, and he continued to ban evade all the way up until 2024. After a while, Ludmute and the dot broke up. Unfortunately, Ludmute's mental health deteriorated afterwards until they eventually, sadly, ended up unaliving themselves. The only evidence left of this is a chat log between this person and the dot, with someone else confirming their passing. Their VRChat account now lays dormant forever, with their account status and bio leaving a tribute to their complete obsession over the dot. After this, the dot continued to ban evade. Now, in 2024, with over 300 accounts made, he had made another appeal, which he was briefly unbanned again for a few months. However, this was changed whenever VRChat cut 30% of the company in layoffs, and the ban itself doesn't really give much context for what exactly he was banned for. Who knows what exactly happened, but maybe someone on the moderation team just really had it out for him.
I got banned for ripping an avatar, and I ban evaded for my ex-boyfriend that himself 2 years ago.
Did he get like harassed?
No, he missed me a lot and then he himself.
That's
I'm not kidding. If you want to, look up their name, Ludmute. I never lie. They including their Steam account, they say I love you dot forever and ever.
I'm trying to what? That's crazy.
Let me tell you something about them. They were so nuts about me when I first met them in July of 2018. I met them a few weeks later. We started dating, and then I learned how to rip an avatar from VRC. I showed it to moderation how it worked. They said F off. They banned me for a month. I was waiting for a month, literally waiting for that ban to go away. But my ex-boyfriend, who went fucking nuts, they were crazy. They just said they're gonna kill themselves because I wasn't getting on. So I'm like, okay, I'll make a new account. I made a new account. I got banned in an hour because they found me. And they told me, please get back on the next day. I'm like, I can't do this. So I was literally on the edge, and I got perma-banned on September of 2018. Somewhere around, and then the moderation team thought I was attacking. Moderation team thinks I was attacking their people. I was literally trying to join them by sending a friend request and joining them to tell them to help me. I was really desperate. But then some client bot that was in the past joined me and crashed the instance, and they thought it was me. So I started using clients because there was nowhere to run and nowhere to do anything, so I just became the bad guy. Only a few people believe it. People don't believe it. People think I'm making it up. I'm like, no, I don't make things up, because I also had DMs. But that was a long time ago. I don't even know what happened to those people I DM'd before.
So that's the Dot's current ban history. But how about all that bad rep he's managed to get? Well, to fully explain it, let's go back to one of my older videos. Someone who is very, very, very bad news joins the Maya server. And honestly, I don't know why you wouldn't instantly ban them on site. This person goes by the name The Dot. It is not entirely clear that you knew about this person and their history, but in your document, you state Dot was also another person that joined Maya Supremacy after it became open to the public. Dot and Itsuki became friends really fast. Note, Dot is an actual convict for possession of CSAM. Dot was overall nice to me at first, so I gave them the benefit of the doubt. At the time, I took this at face value because the evidence against Dot was so overwhelmingly against him. But if you think about it, there are some problems with this statement, along with a distinct lack of evidence in their post. You know, if this was true and that Dot was actually convicted, wouldn't he be in jail instead of ban evading? Isn't the minimum for this kind of offense like 5 years according to the law? That would mean that Dot would have had to have been convicted of that stuff prior to VRChat being a thing, and I highly doubt that the Dot would actually tell you if he did and that you could find proof of these offenses. Now, if by the statement you actually mean the Twitter post calling out the Dot, Dot has an explanation for these very damning Discord messages. First of all, these messages were obtained illegally through a malicious attack using a Discord token logger. There was a time where users of a VRChat avatar pirating website were infected by using pirated VRChat models laced with malware. This led to Dot's boyfriend, Bobby, getting hacked by one of these hackers. These hackers then downloaded all the messages between Dot and his boyfriend Bobby, as well as some other messages in a server, and leaked them out onto the internet. The screenshots that were taken from the DMs were shown in the Twitter post. The issue with these Twitter posts is that some of the contents were blurred out and claimed as CP, even though it was actually con art. In the video that was made from the link, there wasn't any photographic images of any sort, only drawn ones. I also took the liberty of reading almost all of the messages and can tell you that these two are just very much fucking degenerates. For example, Bobby is into being cucked, or another word for this is NTR, BBC, which is short for Big Black Cock, Futari, which is essentially chicks with dicks, and of course, lollies. They would spend most nights getting each other off by saying very lewd stuff, and in regards to lollies, calling each other PDF files. For example, Mommy, cock. I'll lick those balls clean when you cherish that cock hole, and I'll make sure you come directly into her veins. I'll clean that off too as you watch. Good. Be a good cookie boy and watch me enjoy her. You better enjoy her. I want to come hard on the floor as I helplessly watch. You will, right? For me, while I fuck her gross hard big cock and kiss the tip non-stop. Yum yum. Watch it throbbing, delivering warm, delicious mommy milk to you. Only to me, and you will get nothing in return. That's my baby. Cheat on me for that, mommy. Give her kisses, love her. God. Junie, I love you. Not much lolly, but your colors. Can't seem to find anything good from Pix IV. Don't know if I'm wording it right. Oh, that cute cookie. child. We call them child here. Yes, I want to go to children tonight. Please. Saj, I love you. Make me come hard. By the way, what did you do last night? Not last night, silly. The morning right before I left for work. Then at work. Oh well. Just lolly/child. Now, I want to note that this doesn't mean that these people never engage with any kind of misconduct with real minors. This only addresses the information that was shared with the public via the Discord leaks posted on Twitter. Regardless of how you guys feel about the subject, I think we can agree that lolly art is not the same as pictures of real children being exploited in this way. Another thing that damaged Dot's reputation even more was someone who goes by the name of Kaizo-chan, who made an edit of the video that made it look like CP even more. This person, Kaizo, is also rumored to have allegedly engaged in inappropriate activities related to minors as well. Now, I understand that even entertaining these fantasies of being called a pedophile is gross, but let's just talk about the things that we know for a fact that has happened so far. In my last video, I went over one of the victims in the story who called out the Dot for trying to ERP with them when they were underage. Itsuki actually called out Dot, saying that he wanted to do things ever since I was 16. Smiley face. I confirmed this with the Dot that this statement is actually true. Another thing is that the Dot ran a Discord server that had a lot of adult material in it and knowingly allowed that same minor into that Discord. I, for one, can attest to how hypersexual he is. Here are some of the things he said to me when I was looking into him. Knowing all these facts and Dot's side of the story, everyone can now make up their mind of how they really think about him. I really do think that this incident shows how damaging things can truly be, and whatever you post online, public or in DMs, can somehow find its way into the public eye. I also want to ask the VRChat moderation team to do a better job of handling bans, especially on people who actively evade them. Try to have conversations with them. Hear out the reasonings for what they did. I mean, it's easier than having to ban the same person over and over again. Don't let one person on the team let their biases against or for someone determine whether or not they're allowed to keep playing or stay banned. Also, please improve your transparency for your reasoning on why people are banned. Instead of saying you violated our TOS, tell us what section of the TOS was specifically violated and when. Now, there are other cases where people have claimed that the Dot has done something intentionally with a minor. I've tried to look into these allegations, but nothing that I know of has been made publicly available. Dot claims that he and Bobby never went after any real children and that it was all just text ERP. After the leak, they broke up mainly because he was being too dependent on Dot and wasn't making any effort to fix himself. It's also been hard for me to physically ask people because people are so adverse to even speak about the past in detail. When doing research for this video, I've been interrupted, yelled at, and argued with for trying to do my due diligence when covering topics like this. As for my final opinion on Dot, I think he is your typical hypersexual VRChat player that's angered a lot of people in the past. The Discord messages sent between him and Bobby were fucking gross, and I think if you get off to being called a pedophile, then you need actual therapy. But the fact is that Dot had their private Discord messages leaked and taken out of context, which caused them to be harmed even more than the stigma of being a lolicon would have been. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed the video, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and yeah, I'll catch you later. Bye. Mwah, mwah.